What's up, guys? Welcome to Our Generation podcast. My name is Marko, your host, and today's episode is going to be a solo episode. So no guests. Yup, no guests. I felt like I need to tell a little bit about myself more and share with you who I am and what I actually do and how I got to this podcast. And then, as you read the title, we will talk about a certain topic, which is, do you really need to quit your 9 to 5 to pursue your dreams? And today's very hot. I didn't expect it to be in this hot in September. It's 26 degrees, sitting in the sun. I didn't find any calm, shadowy spot, so you're gonna see me sweat. Yes, as you heard, my name is Marko. I also introduced myself a little bit in the intro video that I did for this podcast. If you haven't saw this, it's a good timing that you're actually watching this video or listening to this episode. But before I dive into it, I started to ask my guests the usual question of why are we in this space right here, or what's the location, and why did the guests choose this location. But today I chose a location for myself, which is a hill looking above Zurich, and this is one of my favorite places to chill and to sit down a little bit and think about some decisions that you have to make, or read a book, not performatively but for real. And also, if I want to recharge my batteries and be a little bit alone, sometimes you just need that. I'm gonna put on my sunglasses. I hope you're not going to be mad about it, because it is quite sunny, and at least I want to protect my eyes, if that even works. I'm 24 years old. As you heard, I'm from Zurich, born and raised, but originally I'm from Serbia. Both of my parents are from Serbia. Quite close with my home country. I love to visit it there. I love the nature there. I love my family there, and that's one big reason I love to go there, especially because of my family, but also of my culture. And it's quite peaceful, and I love to recharge my batteries there when I'm going on holidays. Or what I do in Zurich, I work a 9 to 5 job. Actually, I did a apprenticeship. That's usually the case in Switzerland. You either go studying, do gymnasium, or going to study after, or you do apprenticeship either in and learn your profession. My profession was I don't know the exact name. It's kind of commercial something in my case, but it's like I kind of business economy. I don't know. It's I don't want to get into that all too deep into it, because that's what I learned. But when I get more information about what it is actually in English and everything, I'll get back to you when I talk with somebody that is coming from this field, or I'm working now already 10 years, and in the same company for 8 years actually. So that's something. I work in buying. It's quite an interesting department, because you are basically a product manager. You are deciding what is going to be in the store, because I am in a convenience store. I work in a convenience store. It's one of the biggest in Switzerland, so it's quite cool. It's a great insight that I have. And besides that, I'm studying textile and business management. That's something I decided to do last year, actually. I'm in the second year now. I find it quite interesting, quite cool. And yeah, I got into it because when I started with modeling, I started to go into the castings and seeing the behind the scenes at the headquarters and everything. And I felt like, yeah, that's something I actually want to do. Working at a fashion house and, you know, do do something with fashion. Had to, sorry for the awkward break. I had to, I'm quite sweaty, so I had to, clean myself after. Yeah. So also, as mentioned, I model as well, and yeah, it's I kind of that this topic is something that I actually did that I didn't do. Um, how can I say that I didn't do by decision of planning it that way? It was just a sudden happening, but I will get into it. More about myself. I love playing basketball. I love playing tennis. I used to do it quite long some time now, as a kid especially. Now I'm stepping off the court. Love to be on the sidelines and watching the sport, but not playing it that much because I don't know. Some passions move on. Some things are just nice to watch, but not to play anymore. I feel like, yeah, it's not the same passion as I had with when I was a teenager, for example, with basketball. But still loving to watch it and watch my friends play. But who knows? Maybe I'm going to play again. We'll see. It's always a sudden change or a sudden decision, which leads to new opportunities, new happenings, new people, and everything. So yeah, what else about myself? So I started with Our Generation podcast this year, but I had this in mind already 6 years ago. Man, time flies. It's 2025. In 2019, I had this idea where I wanted to have a podcast to share stories about other people and what I do and everything, and also, share stories. But I never had the guts to share or the guts to actually start it, to get the equipment, to invite the people, to tell people about it. Very few people know about this idea because I was trying to get a crew. So, you know, so that you have a crew and you actually start, it's actually very cool and everything. So that's one reason I actually wanted to do that. And also, man, I'm so sweaty. I'm so sorry, guys. Maybe I'm not going to post this video because I'm a mess. Um, and also, just to have a crew around you simply motivates you to do something because you kind of have to do something. I don't know if you get me, but that's one way of, I feel like, negative motivation, because so you need people to motivate you because you cannot motivate yourself. But yeah, as you see, I'm doing it by myself. I have a friend that writes some articles. Well, I hope it's going to be published about the certain episodes, and I'm posting it on Substack. Yes, we are on Substack. It's a great platform for bloggers and creatives because a lot of people share their work there, so it's quite cool. Yeah, add us there, follow us. Yeah, more projects are going to be on its way there, so stay tuned. Yeah, and this podcast, back to the podcast, I felt like a need to share a story, not about myself, but from people, and be a certain platform for them, and also a certain archive that is going to be online for them also to revisit and watch themselves in a certain time where they were going through struggles, they were going through glory, or going through the starting phases of their career, and yeah, it's starting to grow and going its way that they actually dreamed of. So yeah, a lot of great things that actually motivate me to do more, invite more people to have a talk. But it all takes courage and all. um, yeah, I mean, especially you're doing it on your own. I would love to have people besides me and help me with certain stuff like editing and everything. But I feel like sometimes I want to start and do it on my own to know how I actually like it to get created and then involve the people so that we can get a certain standard or But yeah, that's about the podcast and let me think. Um, yeah, why? Let's get to the question. Why? Or sorry, guys. Let's start over. My God, the sun is beaming me out. Do you really need to quit your job, your 9 to 5 job, to pursue your dreams? That's something you face literally every day on social media. People posting about, you don't need this school, you don't need to do that. Just fucking do it. Just drop everything and start doing it. Start blah blah blah, and you get motivated by that. I mean, I see the message, I understand the message, I understand why they kind of do it. Like, I kind of understand it, and I don't want to say I was driven by certain people and pushing you to go this certain path, but I felt like, yeah, if they did it like that, I could do it also as well. But it never happened that way. It never got to that point where I said, all right, I want to be a model, so I'm gonna drop my 9 to 5 and start doing modeling. No, it kind of happened out of sudden. So basically, in 2022, I guess, yeah, I in the beginning of the year I was in the military and was still under contract with my employer, and then came back, and then I, over the time of 18 weeks, I kind of realized, all right, I need a change. I want to see something new, another company, or maybe just take some time off and travel or whatever. So in this moment when I came back from the military, so by the way, the military in Switzerland is um, mandatory, so you have to go when you're healthy and everything. So yeah, I was there, came back, decided to leave the company. But at that time when I actually decided to leave the company, also my grandfather died. And it was kind of tragic. It was quite sad. I mean, when your loved ones died. And at this point, I kind of decided to go back to Serbia because he was living there. My grandparents are living there, and it was my grandfather from my father's side. And then I decided to go back to Serbia for a while. I spent my time for surely 2 to 3 months there. Uh, yeah, I kind of, how can I say, I just spent my time there with my grandparents from my mother's side because they're both still alive, thank God, and I'm spend my time with them. Kind of cleaned the house and maintained the house where my late grandfather lived in, and went through his stuff, tried to clean everything out that stayed there, and also maintained everything, and saw a little bit of his archive and how he lived and everything. And that in the meantime, where I was in Serbia, I got scouted by a model agency that is from Croatia, and they DM'd me actually and asked me, hey, would you like to, or are you interested in modeling? And I was like, yeah, why not? I mean, a lot of people told me to try it, but I was always unsure about it. and then I decided to actually, get in contact with them. So basically, with modeling, you get scouted even on the streets, or on the street, on social media, or you yourself send an application, and then from there you get developed and start getting into modeling if they choose you. So basically, they saw potential in me. I wasn't physically really ready to be a model. I didn't have the measurements that they required for me to have for, fashion week, runways, and in general modeling. Because, yeah, it isn't a cliche. It's the truth. You kind of have to be skinny, and I wasn't in that time. So it took me surely a year, let's say, until maybe like 7-8 months, like almost a year, yeah, until I finally got into the measurements where I lost weight, and also healthy wise, I also had a nutritionist and everything. And then, yeah, signed my contract, got with them together, and got into modeling. So that time where I closed one door with my 9 to 5 job, let's say, because I was sick and tired of it in some way, kind of paid off, because I signed a modeling contract, and I didn't know what was ahead of me. It was quite exciting. It was quite new. I was still mourning. I was mourning surely this year, and spent my time with my family. I stayed in Serbia for sure, like for 3 or 4 months. Did a sabbatical basically, and then came back to Zurich to my family, and started working in a back office of a sneaker shop where I helped them out. So I was temporarily there, and also not with under a fixated contract. So I was able to come and go whenever I wanted. So that was something I loved to. Was great to have, because with modeling jobs, you can suddenly get a job tomorrow and you have to leave. So it was great. It was a great timing. So yeah, in 2023, I got into fashion shows. Like, no, wait, I have to get better with my storytelling skills. I'm sorry about that. I will get to it for sure. By signing and getting into the model agency, they were also trying to get me agencies internationally. So I had Zoom calls with the most famous agencies that you actually know, like Elite, IMG, Ford, and many more. And it was quite nerve wracking, because it went only like 5 or 10 minutes, and isn't the normal, let's say, a job application interview where it's going maybe an hour, where they ask you about everything and whatever, but they just wanted to see how you are communicating, how you react, how you speak, actually, how you are as a human being in that short of time. And it was quite interesting. You also had to show how you walk and everything. So it was quite interesting. It was a great insight, but also I had, thank God, great feedback. I was able to, decide with my agency with who I want to sign, actually. And then we decided to go with an agency in Paris, and afterwards in Milano. And yeah, started to work on, getting into Fashion Week, Paris and Milano. And I have to tell you my story like that, because I feel like I have to tell you also a little bit of how I felt in that time, how it was going, and what kind of reality checks I went through and realized some things, like realizations of certain moments of how do you value actually your time and everything. And during my time where I was losing actually weight and everything, surely many of you thought, oh man, like, you had to lose weight, but you're already skinny, whatever, blah, blah. No, I wasn't actually. I'm honest with you. And also, I did it with a nutritionist where I, healthy wise, lost weight and actually ate like almost 4 times a day, and even good portions. So don't worry about it. And for everybody who is trying to lose weight, who is trying to get into healthier, how can I say, standards, or you know, there are a lot of ways of you losing weight or gaining weight by getting a nutritionist, by them reading your blood analytics. I don't know if that's the correct word, and then create through that what kind of vitamins you're lacking of and what do you need more and everything. And it's kind of a meal plan that you actually get that is built on your body. And that's very important for you as well to remember. Obviously, it costs a little bit, but it's about your health, and health is the number one thing that you have to, pursue when it's about yourself, because through health, you also are going to be more motivated, happier also. It's nothing granted that you're going to be happy just saying that, but you're going to feel better. That's how I felt. I don't know how you were going to feel like, but you change a little bit and in the better, and you just feel better. I don't know how much I said better, but you get it, right? And yeah, in that time it was a great challenge, and I also realized how much I didn't know about myself, about my body, and what I actually can eat, what I can't eat, what I actually love to eat, what I, certain things where I just never actually paid attention to it, just because I was living in a fast environment and just doing whatever is the other guys or people are doing, and trying the new things of fast foods and whatever, and that is actually killing your body or not doing such a great work because you're not really actively doing something to avoid certain things after you ate something, or did something, like you have to think about when you eat this burger and drank this Coca-Cola, you have to maybe walk 10,000 steps or go for a jog or go to the gym or play for an hour basketball or whatever. So it's all about your body and how you work, and yourself of how you are going to burn these calories that you actually took in. But that's another topic. That's something that I faced when I was going through that. And yeah, back to the story with the agencies. Then I found the agencies and was able to prepare myself to go for Paris Fashion Week and Milano Paris Fashion Week and Milano Fashion Week, which sounded so surreal, because what do you mean? A year ago I was working in an office, not really knowing where I want to go academically, also job wise, career wise, and then suddenly really doing something that is, how can I say, quite rare to do, quite difficult to get in. I mean, the modeling industry, it is difficult to get in. It still is. It's even getting bigger, kind of, and it's hard. The industry is cruel and very honest. And it was my greatest honor to even travel there, not for holidays, but for work. And that was a realization when I had standing in front of the Eiffel Tower and realizing, man, I'm not a tourist here. I am kind of, obviously, but I'm here for work. I'm trying to get something here, like, interesting. So yeah, before I got to Paris Fashion Week, we went to castings in Milano, pre-castings and then castings. So pre-castings are basically you introduce yourself, the casting agencies and the brands saw you first, and then they decide if you want to see them, if they want to see you again for the real casting, and then for the whole process of getting you into the fittings and then the show. And everything went all right, I guess. They wanted to see me again. I went to Milano, showed up, went to the castings, and it's surreal when you say I went to the Prada casting, I went to the Todd's casting, you went to the, like, these are all brands that you see on social media, see people wear, especially Prada, knowing for so long. I mean, it's a huge, huge, huge brand, and being able to be in this headquarters, seeing the everything, just everything, even the slide that they have. For the people who know that they have a slide in the headquarters, it was surreal to see it live. It was quite interesting. It was quite special. But the negative part is the feedback. You are there for the experience, but you're also not even being seen. I remember vividly traveling through Milano, driving metro, biking, whatever, and it takes you 45 minutes to get there. You wait in line for 30 minutes. You get to the point that you have to walk. It's your turn. And then the one guy is checking his phone, and the other girl is just bored, not even interesting, not even excited that you came, whatever. I mean, they don't have to clap for me or whatever, but just look at me, be normal, and that's what you kind of expect of a casting. But yeah, they were just as interested. And also, yeah, I walked front and back. That's how the castings work. You were wearing something black, something darker, and some jeans that aren't all too baggy, so that they see your proportions pretty well. And yeah, they were like, just okay, thank you. And I'm like, oh man, but you didn't even check me out like properly. I didn't say that, but I was feeling that, or thinking that deep down. So I was bummed out, and that happened quite sometimes in Milano, I remember. And yeah, that's something that God gets into your ego, into yourself, because people are just, how can I say it? It's kind of disrespectful in one way. But I also I get them, because you have to think they have to see probably like 500 models, and at some point in the afternoon they're like tired as well. So we're all human. But at the other side, you are also a human being and also have feelings. So it hurt. But by the time you grow and you are so working on it to not get on you, you like get into you in your head. So yeah, you're just like, okay, whatever, it's just okay, thank you, it wasn't meant to be, let's move on. So Milano was a whole loss, let's say. I didn't get anything. I had cool castings, but I didn't get anything, and it was kind of bumming me out, because obviously you think something of yourself, and others are putting you on the side and showing you what they think of yourself. And then you just realize, okay, like, the value that you put on yourself has to always be higher, but they're weakening you through that, like humbling you in one way, but also, I don't know, it's more than being back on the ground. It's like you're going, and now you're down. You're just simply not happy with the response or whatever. But it is what it is. That's something that I had to tell myself, honestly. And then we went to Paris. And honestly, I love Paris in general, the city. Obviously, it has its negative sides, which are bigger than the good parts, let's say. But I love the vibe. I love the architecture. I love the people, although they have an attitude, but who hasn't? And also, the fashion brands are there. And that's where everything, I feel like, got created. And it does have a simple, it has a different energy than other cities that I've been in. And obviously, I didn't travel much to say, yeah, that's a great city, but surely there are amazing cities that I'm going to visit. But that's a city that Paris really, I don't know, it just has something that makes me very happy. It fulfills me in one way. And I love to go there. I don't know if I can imagine myself living there because of the, how can I say, circumstances that they have there, because of the whole situation, and politically and everything, and also capitalism and everything. But I don't want to be political or anything. It's just, I don't know if I can ever imagine myself there. I would love to work there. I would love to pursue my career there after my studies, obviously, because every brand that I love is there, and I'm in Milano as well, in Italy in general. So yeah, but yeah, I can. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can imagine myself living there just simply because of the energy and the vibe that the city has, and I have my view on the city, and know where to go, where not to go, what to avoid, what to see. But I mean, for the weeks that I have been there, probably months, I mean, I have my insight, but I can get more out of it. But yeah, back to the topic. So Paris has a special place in my heart. Uh, Long story short, and I went to many castings, amazing brands, but it isn't everything. I mean, even smaller brands are very cool to see and visit, and also the upcoming, and also seeing how they grew, especially how they established themselves in the last 3 years, 2 years that I've been on the castings, and also, also how the organization works with castings and everything, and it's just simply more organized, let's say. Um, some maybe disagree with me. I don't know. Don't hate me on that. And some very cool castings, quite some cool opportunities where I actually went into fitting for some stuff. And fittings are sometimes indicators of, hey, maybe you're going to reach the finish line, meaning you're going to be on the runway. But it's not always like that. But you start hoping, you start imagining yourself getting this job, going to walk for this brand, getting the certain money, even though runway isn't all too paid well as a commercial, let's say, but you get yourself around. I mean, you get some credit. It's great on the CV, let's say. So yeah. I in June 2023 for spring summer, I had a fitting for Junya Watanabe and some other brand I cannot remember, but I also, one brand flew me in, actually, not even during fashion week, but it was around this time, and I was YSL, and also calling me back for another casting and going for photos, and that was like before fitting, but then you didn't get it. And so back to the Junya story. Junya Watanabe usually has their shows on Thursday, I guess. Maybe I'm lying to you guys, but maybe I'm wrong, guys, but yeah, so in this week that I got back from Milano, we had the castings, and after the castings, you're fitting, and then the show. And every casting that I went started to be like, okay, thank you, okay, thank you, okay, thank you. So from Milano, from the negative week, I'm starting again into negative process of, okay, thank yous. So I was like, okay, I kind of would love to go home. I had enough of this negative, okay, thank yous, and also just simply you're down as much as your friends that you met there, or your modeling friends that you also support and love to see on the runway walking while you're sitting somewhere just admiring how they're actually doing it. You just simply, you know, let's say, just disappointed and sad because you just didn't get to any opportunities. And then I remember Junior Watanabe. I went to the fitting and I was so excited just going to this fitting. I was like, oh my god, finally something that is making me happy and fulfilling me just to go into Comme des Garçons and just trying this outfit that they prepared for the models, and walk in front of Mr. Junior Watanabe, and him deciding if you're the guy or not for this outfit or outfits. And yeah, a day later I haven't heard anything, and then in the evening I was like texting my agent and I was like, hey, what's the status on Dunya? Do you have anything on it about it? And I was like, no, unfortunately you didn't get it. And I was like, damn. After probably 20 plus castings, everything was a no. You were like, damn. Because, job applications, you get 20 no's. It doesn't feel like when somebody tells you live, when you feel like you see the room and you feel like, okay, maybe I could be this guy, maybe, or whatever. Maybe I thought wrong in that time of hoping every time that I'm going to get this job. Yeah, it kind of crushed my dream, let's say. And then yeah, went back home after the failed attempt to walk Paris Fashion Week and Milano Fashion Week. And it was a summer break. And summer break came, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Or am I going to pursue it again? And I was so obsessed with it. I kept on going. I was trying to reach something here. I was bare minimum wage earning money in this sneaker shop by choice, because I was underqualified actually for this job, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to pursue modeling. And I then trained harder, focused myself more on this, really isolated myself and just tried to reach this goal. And then in January 2024, fall winter, I finally got the opportunity to walk 2 shows, not one show, but 2 shows in Paris Fashion Week, during the Paris Fashion Week. And kind of a dream got fulfilled. I finally was able to work as a model, first of all, and second of all, I didn't get a okay, thank you, but a hey, thank you for walking Junya. I actually walked Junya Watanabe a year later, or a half a year later. It was crazy. And another brand, Mazu, is also a Japanese brand. So it was a great honor. It was a great insight. It was so amazing. After this, you get this adrenaline of wanting more, wanting to do another show, walking again, like bring me another casting, whatever. So you're in this awe, you're finally happy to finally walk something. And what I learned, that's one. Number one, what I learned, if the success came earlier, like in the month where I only got no's, I don't know how much I would have appreciated me walking again the runways that I walked. I don't know if this adrenaline would have taken me over, and I would have gotten kind of delusion or whatever. Like just too selfish about, hey, I walk Paris Fashion Week, like being just a jerk about it. I show off. Um, so I learned to appreciate it more. I learned more about myself of how I can accept certain things, of how you cannot control something, because I love to control things. I'm scared of failing, and these things you just cannot control if you actually failed, or if they are actually going to take you or choose you for this job, So that's something I learned to accept, and to move on, and to understand, okay, something bigger is coming, something better, something that is actually meant for me, because I'm also quite religious. I believe in God. I'm Orthodox Christian, and I don't go every Sunday in the church for the service, but I have a connection with God, and I know there is a path written for me, a road that I'm going, and you decide and you go by your decisions, and either you go the good way, the right way, or the bad way, the wrong way. I mean, we can get philosophical and say, what is the good way, what's the bad way, obviously, but I feel like everything that I went through was a great lesson for me, just to realize what I'm actually doing today. Because, number two, I realized if I had quit my job because of pursuing my dream, because I didn't even know modeling was a dream of mine, actually, would have this been a good idea? Would have this been helpful in some way? Because I did this temporarily job because I know I can come and go whenever I wanted, but I didn't earn the money that I actually needed for myself. So there was pros and cons, obviously. But on the other hand, asking myself, would I've quit today my job to pursue modeling or whatever, acting, or starting a company? I would have said no. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't quit my job because, to be honest, you can finance yourself or finance your project, finance your dream. Like, I'm trying to finance our generation podcast, for example, being able to buy certain equipments like a microphone or headphones, whatever, and finance yourself being able to travel, or like, if this is your project of seeing the world while you're working, hey, that's a great balance. Because when you don't see work as something that you have to do because you have to do it, then obviously you're only going to see darker clouds around you. But when you're doing it because of a certain purpose, of doing it for something bigger than that, then okay. Because maybe you do that job because after the studies you're going to be an executive, because you're going to go a total different path, because that isn't for you, or with this diploma you can maybe even go in this direction you're going to pursue it. I mean, I always take Virgil Abloh as a great inspiration. I kind of see him as a mentor for everybody, because so many digital footprints of him is out there and you can check it out. But he studied architecture, but DJ'd, was a designer, never actually was able to design something on his own because like suing or whatever, but he still was the creative director because he knew how to approach these things. And if you feel like you're also able to do that, then why not? It's nothing cringe, nothing is, how can I say, everything is a risk, let's say, but if you're certain about it and you want to try it out, hey, what's bad about finding out if your dream is actually your dream? or if this idea is actually a good idea for you to pursue or to try out. I mean, sometimes you have to check if it's really that for you, and sometimes you have to see for yourself where this could also take you. Because through modeling, I met great friends that are living in Australia, in Brazil, uh, Denmark, Sweden, all around the world. And I feel like I'm so grateful to be for being able to have met them, and also for meet new people through my job, and also for finding out who or how my body works, who I am, and through what hardships I went through to actually pursue this dream, and how I can maybe provide a little insight into this industry, or pursuing something, and how I went through it. I mean, now today I'm working, studying, trying to get into modeling again. I don't have my agencies in Paris and Milano anymore, because I simply didn't work anymore. I didn't achieve the standards that I wanted anymore, and the simplest way is to release me. And that is okay, because I know time will tell if this was the right path. Time will tell if something new, something bigger is going to come when you work towards your goals and where you want to go. And map yourself a plan, picture it, print it out, write it out, say it out loud, and go for it. I feel like a lot of people are scared, and being scared isn't a weakness. It's good, because you are going to approach it with a certain respect, and that's very much needed, because having respect for things in general, for decisions and everything, is good, because you are thinking it through. Sometimes it's needed, maybe sometimes overthinking would overcome you, and you get scared more than you actually need to be. But pursue it, whatever it is: acting, studying this subject that you want to study, or I know a lot of you feel like under pressure. I also today I feel under pressure, because I put pressure on myself. It's not my parents that do that. It's not my boss. It's not life, but it's me, because you want to achieve a certain standard, and that's that. But if the environment is not doing the work that you actually need to have an environment that supports you, or the environment is putting you down, then maybe you have to change the environment. Maybe it's the job, or like, if you want to quit your 9 to 5 because of that, then I totally understand it. And I understand if you want to quit it because you want to pursue your 9 to 5, because you have to find out, like I did, if that would have been helpful or not by pursuing it. And I feel like, yeah, everybody has to see for themselves, and explore. And that's what I feel like life is about: exploring, about an adventure, about getting to know yourself better by going through certain stages in your life, where you're on afterwards going to be able to talk about it, like I am doing it right now. And I'm just started living. I'm 24 years old. Some people call me Ong. I mean, oh man, just thinking about it. Some may say I'm old, but what is old? You never stop learning. You never stop exploring. You never stop meeting new people, getting to see new things. Let's say nothing is going to be, how can I say, always the same. Things change, people change, you change, and I feel like that's beautiful. That's part of life, and that's life that we have to, take in and enjoy. And that's what I want to tell you. And I always ask my guests, what would you have, what did you wish you knew before you started in this industry, or what's an advice for people who are working in this field, or, you know, and my advice for you who are maybe starting to become a model, who have agencies already, or, you know, couple of tips maybe. Um, the modeling agencies, you work with them together. They find jobs for you, but it's never bad to also express your interest and that you would love to work even more, and, you know, communicate with them openly, because that's very important. Read your contract as well. Not that something happened in my contract, but in general, every video is right. We're saying, hey, check your contract. That's something that I also am giving advice on. In general, not only in modeling, everywhere, whatever contract you get, always check it out. Also, all the feedback that you get, all the, let's say, constructive criticism of how your body looks like, how people reject you, the rejection that you actually get. I know one way, maybe it's on you, maybe you are not in the size that you actually wanted them. Oh my god, they wanted you to be in, let's say, or whatever. I mean, not everything is, I mean, you're not always able to be, you know, be in the shape that they expect you to be. I mean, when they give you time to be prepared, prepare yourself, because this is also a sign of respect for you to be prepared for a movie or whatever. And it's also the same with you being prepared for a presentation, and it's the same with modeling. Prepare yourself for every role that you have, for every job that you have. Get into the measurements. That's also something that I feel like, as much as it is a challenge, I mean, everybody has a limit. Never reach or overreach the limit. Don't go over that, because it's only going to, you know, break you physically or mentally. And don't play with health. I'm just counting the things that I kind of have faced, and I'm not finished. One last advice for you, or a tip. The casting agency, the photographer who you're going to meet, who actually sees potential in you, is somebody that you should keep contact with. You should network with, because maybe he did the shooting for free, maybe he saw something in you, and it's also important for you to respect mutually, have the respect mutually, to, you know, never forget that was the stage that was given to you by some certain person. And I'm saying that because I'm super grateful for the people I was able to meet on my shootings in Croatia, in Paris, and in Zurich, and in Switzerland in general. And I'm so grateful that I have met them, because they opened certain doors and new opportunities. And I know maybe someday a call is going to get in, and it's going to be, hey, we have a job for you. We feel like you're perfect for it, because we know you, we met you, and, you know, that's how a door opens. So respect people, not only photographers, but also makeup artists, everybody on set. You know, as much as you're a model, as much as you're a star in certain ways or someday, because I believe in you, handle people, be respectful with everybody, not only on set, but also in general as a human being. But especially now when we were talking about the profession. But in general, people should be more gentle with each other, be kind, be supportive also, and yeah, Guys, I hope this episode was able to be recorded with my camera because it overheated the first time, or it's going to be a audio only episode. But guys, I hope you got to know me a little bit better. I hope I didn't bore you a little bit with my story and were able to get some takeaways from it, and yeah, I learned a little bit about myself, about modeling, about the 9 to 5 approach and how people actually view it. And yeah, I'm open also about you commenting, and we can always start a conversation, and I can always record again another episode about this topic because it's so wide and fully faceted, because it has so many aspects in it. So surely we can, or I'm going to fill another episode about it. But for now, guys, yeah, stay healthy. I wish everybody a great start into school, into work again after the summer break. And new guests are coming. We're still in season 1. Season 1 is 2025. Season 2 is approaching 2026. We're growing slowly but steadily, and I hope we can reach people through it. Like and subscribe, share, repost. Everything is appreciated. And yeah, love you guys, and see you soon. Bye bye.